So the premise of Bitcoin or any asset that has a lot of volatility is that there's ways to harness value on both sides of the price. So if you take the current price and you say, okay, what can be harvested to the upside? Well, when there's price movement to the upside, you can harvest that price movement in terms of turning it into yield or profit taking. You also have long-term price appreciation potential above the current price. If you look at Bitcoin and the lower side of the curve, or below the current price, there's a average price benefit that you can acquire. So that's when you're buying on the dips and you're buying a better cost curve, a dollar cost averaging strategy. That's one thing that can be harnessed on the downside. But there's also a unique status, and we are not tax experts, so please contact your CPA, but there's a unique status that crypto holds as it pertains to being able to do something what they call as tax harvesting or tax loss harvesting. And it's unique to crypto. So it's something that you should be aware of, something that you should go educate yourself on if you've never heard that before. But a lot of people are starting to talk about it, and there's a lot of we just mentioned that Michael Saylor did it, I think, back in 2022. But it has a status with the IRS that allows you to sell it and capture the loss attached to the position and then rebuy it right away. So for real practical purposes, let's just say Bitcoin was at 126 and Scott Melker wanted to buy a large amount of it, and he did. And then the price goes to 100. You don't know if it's going to go lower than 100, but you do know it's at 100, and you do know that there's $26,000 of delta as it pertains to your cost basis and where it is. And so that $26,000 of loss, if you sold the Bitcoin, you get to claim a $26,000 loss. Well, that $26,000 loss applied to your tax rate and applied to other gains to offset the gains is a valuable thing for you. And so as crypto drops, there's these opportunities where you can do a very simple calculation as to, with your CPA, what is that value? And then you can execute on selling your position systematically over little blips, and then rebuying that position instantaneously. So at the end of the process, you're getting an outcome where you've got a new cost basis and you've taken the losses that you've incurred on all of those cryptos. You are then able to claim those on that year's taxes, and then you have a new basis going forward to in the same exact stack that you had before. So it's a valuable thing to learn about. We offer a tool that allows you to execute that with your CPA very effectively. I think one of the hardest things for the CPA is that they all know this exists. They all approve of it. They all want to do it for their customers, but there's a lot of complexity in them getting into your brokerage account and executing it. So this is a way for you to programmatically execute that and to put it into works with a simple click, and have your CPA with you monitoring that and getting those tax losses realized.